Maya Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. This month is dedicated to women. People born female. Now, I have to say that now because, ladies, you may not realize it, but you got it going on so well that folks want to be like you. That's how it is. And we all underappreciate what God gave us. Well, this month, I'm trying to appreciate the mothers, the sisters, the friends, the cousins, the exes, and etceteras in my life. I want to motivate you, inspire you, give you some hope. And I want you to know that you are awesome. You can make it. You can be whatever you want to be, even now. And you're worth all of that and a bag of fries on the side. Speak Life Church Incorporated presents If I Died Tonight. This is the month of Mother's Day and the month of one of my sister's birthday and my mother's birthday and a time of spring. And I just thought this would be a good time to recognize women. And I think sometimes you don't realize your worth. So let's talk about that. If you're not being treated with love and respect, please check your price tag. Perhaps you've marked yourself down and not realized it. It's you who tells people what you're worth by what you accept on a daily basis. We don't hear what you say because you're always talking. We do see what you put up with, though, speaking from a man's perspective. So get off the clearance rack and get behind the glass where they keep the top shelves and the valuable stuff. The bottom line is you need to value yourself more. Can I get an amen, somebody? If you're going through a tough time right now, let me give you 8 reasons or 8 ways that you can help yourself. The first is to identify and challenge your negative beliefs. There's some stuff right now that you're thinking about that you don't need to be holding on to. But you got to spot them out first. You got to call it out. You got to know that you're going through it and it's holding you back. Number 2, identify the positives about yourself. You got them. Guaranteed. Number 3, build some positive relationships and avoid the negative ones. Now, I know that's easier said than done because we don't let go of stuff that we like, even if it's bad. Number 4, give yourself a break. You are harder on yourself than other people are. You see flaws in yourself that nobody else has even paid any attention to. Give yourself a break. Number 5, become more assertive and learn to say no. Now, this is a whole episode by itself. Being assertive is a positive, but there's limits to it too. And learning to say no can free you from so many things, but you have to be willing to be free. Number 6, improve your physical health. Now you know what you should be doing, how you should be eating, working out, and not for anybody else but you. You can knock out stress. You can knock out a whole bunch of stuff by getting more physical. I ain't talking about sex either. I'm talking about getting your blood pressure up. Number 7, take on a challenge. Now I know being a mom, challenge. Trying to find a good person in these days to be in a relationship with, a challenge. I'm talking about something else, something personal for you. And last, get yourself a support squad. Yeah, you need a team, more than one person. You need a small gang of friends. Maybe you already have it, but then check this list again. Make sure they are positive and not negative. Identify and challenge your negative beliefs. Identify the positives about yourself. Build positive relationships and avoid negative ones. Give yourself a break. Become more assertive and learn to say no. Improve your physical health. Take on challenges and get yourself a support squad. So I wanted to give you as much positive stuff as I could before I got into a long story about myself or why I'm doing this thing. Because I don't matter. My past is my past. I want you to do better. Now that you know better, right? Almost everything that I learned was from bad mistakes or mistakes, period, just failings. I'm trying to figure out what happened. And then I watched people. I became a student of human behavior. So much so that I was so curious that I would actually say and do things to see what people would do. But I didn't do it for sport. I didn't do it to make myself feel better. I did it to make sure that my hypothesis was right. And in my younger years, I did fail by using my newly formed powers to affect things the way I want them to be. And that was just wrong. Now, I know we are all affected the same way. I mean, we're all headed in the same direction. We just have different destinations. Most people are highly motivated to believe the best of themselves. I mean, everybody talks about that. But they look for feedback from people to confirm those good feelings. And then you get knocked down by people who are going to give you negative feedback, which sometimes verifies the stuff that you were thinking anyway. You know, in a 2000-year study, a psychology professor at Florida State University said that the self-verification motive was so powerful that it overrode the pain of negative opinions. They said that bad is stronger than good. Bad feedback, bad parenting, bad experiences are much more powerful than good ones, and that's the reason for this podcast. You'll hear one good thing and 10 negatives, and you only remember the negatives. People remember the bad more vividly, process it more effectively and more efficiently, and pay more attention to it. Bad impressions or stereotypes form more quickly, and negative feelings produce longer-lasting effects. Yeah. Just like when your brain tricks you in remembering that cooking disaster that you had, that relationship disaster that you had, more than the delicious food that you cooked or the time in your life when you were really happy. You remember the time you were hurt. You'll remember the time you couldn't exercise and gain 10 pounds, like during this COVID time. You'll remember that. But the good, not necessarily so. So you got to work harder at it. You got to get a group that can help you believe in the positives. The most powerful messages are also the most global. When you feel ugly or fat or stupid or not good enough, they're hard to deflect when you're younger. But sometimes we don't grow that fast on the inside. Our maturity level still. We might be 50 in age, but 25 in our maturity in some things. You have to protect yourself from negative feedback. Remember what that little thing needs to say about sticks and stones? Yeah. It's real if you can believe in it. But it's easier to believe in bad stuff when you're unhappy, you're nervous. Scientifically, it's called a phenomenon of memory bias. They say our mood shape our ability to recall things about ourselves. And naturally, when you're feeling down, it's easier to recall that bad stuff. It's easier to remember failures. And then the mind is mired in a negative view. The same holds true for anxiety. Somebody who is timid or frightened might be leery of a new situation, might look for comfort in ways she's been able to secure it before. It's staying with the devil you know, which is not a good thing. You got to identify the barriers in your way. The good news is your brain remakes itself all the time, but you have to do it. You have to add more positives than the negatives. You have to teach yourself. You have to have a habit of positive thinking to get you out of the stinking thinking realm. You know, if what I've said makes any sense to you, and you're thinking, well, maybe I got some issues with low self-esteem. Now, just saying that seems like there's something wrong with you, but no. You know, we've been managed and conditioned to be the way we are. We repeat the same patterns over and over again. Here's some signs that maybe you need to recalibrate. You need to reset the way you're thinking. If you say negative things and being critical about yourself a lot, if you focus on your negatives and you ignore your achievements, if you think other people are better than you, whether you admit it or not, if you're not happy accepting compliments, if you're feeling sad, depressed, anxious, or ashamed, or angry, there's some signs there that you need to reset, reboot, recalibrate. You feel me? This is a side note I learned in my studies. You know, you can transmit your depression to your kids. Yeah, the parents see the world in negative terms and present this view to their kids. They're hypercritical and irritable toward their kids. They don't want to be, but it's part of their disorder. And those kids have a real tendency to adopt self-critical thinking. It tends to be perpetuated across every aspect of the child's life, especially in a small community where you stay in the same school district and your brothers and sisters are in the same school district. And the teachers know your parents. You remain the fat girl, the slutty girl, It's really hard to shake that thing off. One of the most sexist things in this world is that most guys don't know that they're sexist. I'll raise my hand on that one. Grew up with 2 sisters and a mom. Was the man of the house most of the time until I left home. Ran out of the home, actually. And I missed some stuff. But I learned about what I missed, if that makes any sense. And then when I sought companionship with a lot of women, I learned more. I learned some of the stuff that I had brought with me. I learned some of the stuff that they had been suffering. And I wanted to fix it. I wanted to be the best partner they ever had, the best boyfriend they ever had, the best man they ever had in their life. And man, that was rough because I did it as best I could for almost 98% of the people I was with, and then realized that I had forgot who I was. And that's something that I've seen women do all the time, and then later regret it, and then not know how to get out of it. But I'm just saying all that to say, I know where you're coming from on some things. If I could share one good thought, that would be that you cannot be all things to all people. Be unique. Be different. Give to others what you want yourself, and do what you were made to do. And in your happiness, in your being glowing because you're doing you, you'll attract the one who you're supposed to be with. But that whole attraction thing is also misspoken often too. Like if I were fishing in a small pond, I can't expect to catch a 30-pound great white with my 5-pound test line because there are no sharks in that pond. If my goal was to catch a really, really big fish, you have to go where the big fish are. And that's a whole nother subject right there. But sometimes we go fishing, if you're looking for somebody, per se, in the wrong place. And we're waiting and we're waiting and we're putting on our best outfits, our best looks, and there's nobody there. And then we get mad and frustrated. But we're fishing in the wrong place. Just saying, sometimes you got to move. And I'll be right back after this message. If you are in crisis, call the toll-free National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All calls are confidential, or you can hit them online at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. All right, I want to tell you a secret. This May, I would have been married 30 years, and it's a miracle because I got all my knowledge and my wisdom by being stupid, by the grace of God that I'm still here. The love of a good woman straightened me up a little bit. Truth. If I were to give you some tips, and if you're over 45 looking, let me tell you, don't be afraid of change. And that includes getting older, because everything changes. How you react to those changes is what matters. Don't be afraid of getting older. It's a different world from when we started, yeah. But it's still full of its own wonders as long as you can stay curious and active. And I am not a woman, but I know that when you get to about close to 60, like I am right now, you will feel exactly the same inside as you do now. Your body's going to change, but your head's still the same. And nobody tells you this, but it's great to feel like a rebel on the inside and to know that you'll probably make the same glorious mistakes over again if you could. But don't change. Don't ever dumb yourself down for anybody. Be who you are and be confident in your choices. Never be a cookie cutter and to be the same as everybody else. Remember that you're allowed to change your mind, and you don't need permission from anyone to do anything. Don't care what other people think. It's about you and your journey. And you need to trust yourself. And for the younger ladies in the house that are listening, spend your time with people who raise you up, not bring you down. Sometimes you might have to find friends that have the same goals and desires as you, even if they're younger or older or look different than you. Remember to get your squad. That's important. It's more than having a girls group. It's more than having a girls night out. You need a support squad. Remember that. You were not made to be by yourself. And that's not saying anything about being with a partner or a man, I'm saying friendship is huge. If you want to go fast, somebody said, you go by yourself. But if you want to enjoy the journey and go further, take a friend. You know, we live in a time of so many negatives. There are people getting robbed and pulled out of their cars, and women are just putting up with crap that they don't need, all for the sake of not being alone. They are cheapening themselves, in my opinion. So if I had 3 types of people to talk to right now, that's who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to my granddaughter or my daughter when she was younger, and if she was listening to my show, what I would tell her. I am talking to my friend who is maybe a little younger than I or my same age and looking for a companion. I'm talking to a complete stranger who just happened to find this podcast and wonder, what the hell is he going to be talking about? I'm letting you know that you are worth the fight, that you are worth the struggle, that you are a lot better off than you think. But you have to put yourself in the right position to grow, to learn, to do better. Don't cheapen yourself. Don't think that you don't have enough, because you are enough. You have to up your skills a little bit. You might have to expand your territory. You might have to move locations. You don't have to take all the BS that the world has put on you. Like, yeah, you can get real gussied up, be real pretty, and be considered a token, a piece of furniture, a thing to be won. But then your opinion will not be valued. Then what you give won't be valued. You can't have one thing and ask for another. You have to value yourself first. And after you've messed up, you can redo yourself. Say you've been a slut your whole life. Yeah, I said it. You can change tomorrow. How do I know? Because I did it. There'll be plenty of folks who remember you back in the day. But keep moving forward, and they'll be in your rearview mirror. And then when you come back around to them and they want to remind you, you'll have just as many people who don't even believe what they're putting down. And you can smile and say, yeah, I was like that at one time. And then the one that you have now will be glad for your experience. It's all. My friend, let me tell you something. Choice is the most powerful tool you have. Everything boils down to it. We exist in a time of almost unlimited possibilities. Even your choosing not to do something opens and closes a door. You still have the chance to change direction by choosing. And really, you can't choose or change anything but yourself. You are responsible for your choices and your decisions. And everybody's destination is the same. Only the paths are different. So work hard or harder until you have choices. You ever go camping? I mean, really camping, not glamping. I'm talking about camping. And you thought you're going to be under the stars and you're going to enjoy some nature and you're going to see all the heavens and, all that good stuff. You're going to have a campfire and maybe even go fishing and hiking. And it's going to be great, a great nature experience to be in the greenery. And days and weeks before, you talked about it and you planned it and you read books and you watched videos and you did all the prep you could think of. And you went to the store, you bought yourself a nice outfit, a couple of nice outfits that you were going to wear, maybe even some new shoes. And you got your tent and you got all the utensils and utilities and all that stuff taken care of. And you packed it all and you tried to be efficient with it. You wouldn't carry too much. You're going to carry it light. You're going to be like a soldier or a Marine. Yeah, you're going to be in like Flint. And you get out there and you remember that you still missed some stuff. Something that you left behind, something that you didn't buy, that you could have used. And you still got some stuff with you that first night or two that you are never going to use that you brought and you wish you could exchange it. With all that preparation, you're still messed up. Have you ever done that and wondered, what the heck? Well, here's what I really believe. In the 23rd Psalm of the Bible, when it says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, that you anoint my head with oil, that my cup overflows. That's the New International Version. The fact that God prepares stuff for us is a big thing. And a lot of us these days don't even lean on somebody who prepared the way. Even if you go camping and you go on a new endeavor, a new trip, a new journey, you might forget But God already knows what you need before you do. He is God. But we don't lean on him like we could and we should. Here's a spiritual moment for you right now. I'm not sure where your belief is. But if you were to lean more on God, who knows you're coming and you're going, who knows where you're going to end up before you do, if you were to lean more on him, he could prepare that way for you so that you wouldn't miss that cup or that extra sock or that bug repellent or whatever you might need to get you through tomorrow. If you want a little bit more hope, try God. I'm just saying. People only get you so far. Your own education, wisdom, experiences only get you so far. How about using a little supernatural power tomorrow? It's been my secret sauce to get me through all my tough times, to trust in the Lord and to lean not to my own understanding. Because I'm really easy on messing myself up. I don't know about you. And I couldn't conclude this episode without passing on some wisdom of some stuff that really worked for me. And I know it'll work for you as well. Don't exclude the creator of all things as you get a little bit better, as you overcome what's coming, as you take control of your life. If you stay to the end of this podcast, you're going to hear a disclaimer. Yeah. You know, when somebody says, it's the truth, you can believe me, take it to the bank, blah, blah, blah. Normally, if you got to say that, there's some doubt. Well, I'm going to tell you up front, everything that I'm doing has been done in good faith. I really, really, truly want you to succeed. I really want you to get out of whatever trouble that you're in. I want you to do better than I did when I got to that situation. I want you to live your best life. But I know that some of this stuff is just for general informational purposes only. I make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of anything that I've said. I believe what I'm saying, but your mileage may vary. And everything that I've said has come from a trial, from screwing up, from messing up, from being an ass to somebody, to being wrong, to making mistakes. And I want you to do better than I did. In the beginning of the show, I said this is dedicated to women, to females. And this is from a guy who wasn't always the best person for another woman. I've hurt a lot of people in my life. I've done some really stupid stuff. But like somebody who has gained another day, another chance to get it right, I want to reconcile. I want to do better in the future. So I'm asking you to consider the words that I've said. I'm asking you to consider doing better for yourself in spite of the messenger. See, I don't claim to be perfect, not even close to it. But I do know what good looks like. And I'm trying to do it. And if I effed up, I will tell you that I messed up. Well, that's enough of this. Thank you for listening, downloading, and supporting If I Die Tonight podcast. We'll continue on next week. I'm hoping that you like what I said. I'm hoping it's something that made sense to you. I'm hoping that you can use it and do better. Just in case nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Until next time. Shalom, baby.